Good morning and welcome back to our regular ABCD Update live stream. Thank you for joining us and supporting us through this very uncertain time. I'd like to take a second, as I did before, to thank all the frontline responders that are working very hard during this pandemic to make sure that we all are supported and safe. And I would also like to take a moment to give condolences to anyone in the community and surrounding area that lost a loved one or an acquaintance or family member due to the pandemic. We know it's a difficult time for folks, but we want you all to know that ABCD is here and we will remain here to wrap our arms around you during this difficult time. So today, our special guest will be Miss Maisie Munez. She's the Assistant Director of the Lighthouse program for the city of Bridgeport. She'll give you lots of information about how the ABCD Lighthouse programs are staying connected to their staff and their youth during this I'm running out of words to describe this pandemic. Also, after a message from Miss Maisie, we're going to transition into some updates about our early learning division. We're going to talk about updates in our energy assistance program. We're going to share some census information, also share some COVID-19 assistance program information, and of course, answer any questions or comments that you may have during our live stream. So please, while we're streaming, feel free to ask any questions that you may have about the information that we're sharing during the live stream, and we'll be sure to answer you as much as possible while we're live. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Miss Maisie Munez, the Assistant Director of Youth Services for ABCD.
Good morning. I just wanted everybody to know that ABCD oversees 10 sites, which are the following: Cesar Batalla, Blackham, Black Rock, Curiel, Discovery, Hallen, Johnson, Roosevelt, Tisdale, and Winthrop programs. All 10 sites are now conducting virtual activities through their Google Teams, which is also being used by the school system for their schoolwork. Some of the activities that are being introduced to the children are Zumba, cooking, arts and crafts, etc. And, if needed, homework help at any time. The program runs from 3:10 to 5:10 Monday through Thursday. You do not have to be registered with the Lighthouse After School program as was when we're doing it in the schools themselves. If you want to participate, you can call the following number, which is the Lighthouse office at 203-576-7252. We ask that you reach out to your friends and get them involved with the virtual activities that are being offered within our programs. If you have any family needs, you can also contact the Lighthouse office and they will help you find the appropriate resources. Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Thank you, Maisie, for sharing that great information. That's just another example of how ABCD is partnering with the Board of Education and the Lighthouse After School programs to continue to wrap our arms around the community during this time. We also like to give kudos to all the Lighthouse staff that are working from home, being creative to make sure they get activities and information out to their parents and their children. And also kudos to Tammy Papa and her staff at the City of Bridgeport for continuing to stay communicative with Maisie and her team so things can run smoothly during this uncertain time. So I'd also like to thank folks for continuing to social distance. We know that social distancing has been proven as one of the sure ways, besides wearing a mask of some sort, that we don't continue to pass this virus on and continue to make situations worse. We all know that we want to get back to some level of normalcy. The staff here at ABCD are just as anxious as the rest of the world to get back to assisting the community, but we all know that social distancing, wearing masks, and also being aware of our own bodies and how we feel are all ways that we can be sure that this pandemic can come to a slowdown. So without any other hesitation, I'd like to just share with you that the Early Learning Division remains closed right now. But the great news is that staff and all leadership positions here at Early Learning are coming in the leaders are coming in on a rotating basis, ensuring that staff have information about professional development opportunities. And we also have this wonderful feature on our social media platforms where classroom teachers are actually sharing stories with the world, actually, at story time each day. So if you've been tuned in on our Facebook page, you'll see that various teachers across Early Learning have been sharing their skills during story time and reaching out to their classroom, the children in their classroom in a virtual way. And they're actually teaching and reaching many more children than they ever could if they were in a classroom here at ABCD. So we want to send thanks out to all the teachers and staff that have sent in their videos. We know we have many more that we want to post. We're being systematic about what we post because we want to give everybody a chance to share story time with their families while this pandemic is going on. So one of the ways that ABCD is staying connected with their families are we have leadership staff in the office every single day, connecting with families if they need things, making sure that we're posting pertinent information so families understand where to get resources from. And we've also mailed out activity packets for all families. If you have not gotten your packet, please contact Tanya Lloyd at 203-366-8241. Her extension is 3236, and she will be sure to mail out your packet. Hopefully we'll get back to business as usual very soon, but in the meantime, we want to stay connected with families, and then we want to ensure that you have activities and information to stay connected. Now I'd like to share with you some information about our Energy Assistance Program. Thankfully enough, the Energy Assistance Program has been extended to June 1st. So community members in the Fairfield County area, as well as Norwalk and Westport, have the opportunity until June 1st to call and request a mail-in application for the Energy Assistance Program. This assistance program can help individuals qualified individuals pay down their bills during this time. So I know right now there's a moratorium around not having to pay utility bills, but we all know there's going to come a time where these bills are due. And we want the community to know that ABCD is here for you at that time. But you have to act now. June 1st will be here before we know it. We are here in the office to take your phone calls and to mail you out applications. We're trying to work with DSS to get an online application going. But for right now, we definitely want folks to know that Energy Assistance is here, it's open, and we're ready to receive your mail-in applications. If you're unable to mail in the applications due to not having postage, we have a drop box in both the 149 Water Street address right outside the door in Norwalk and the 1070 Park Avenue address here in Bridgeport. Now I'd like to share with you some great information about a new program called the COVID-19 Support Fund. ABCD was blessed enough to receive dollars from several philanthropic agencies, specifically the Fairfield County Foundation, to begin to help low-income community members try to relieve some of the increased costs related to COVID-19. These funds are specifically for low-income community members that are suffering issues related to COVID-19 that are putting them behind in their utilities, their rent payments, child care expenses. When you call, please know that the caseworker is going to ask you for your COVID-19 related issue. We know there's lots of folks out there struggling and hurting, and we would love to help everyone in the community at this time. But for now, for today, we're able to help community members that are living 125% below the federal poverty guidelines with a one-time financial support of $200 that will be paid directly to the vendor, is a word that I'll use for now, in order to relieve some of your COVID-19 expenses. So please call ABCD either in Norwalk or Bridgeport between 8:30 and 4:30, Monday through Friday. The Norwalk number is 475-489-9119. The Bridgeport number is 475-476-7530. Please leave a message if you're calling before or after hours. We have a large volume of interest in this program. We also would like the community to know that we welcome undocumented families to apply for this assistance. It's very important to us at this time that we wrap our arms around the entire community at such a time as this. Now I'd like to transition on to another topic of interest, which is the census. The 2020 census began many months ago, sending out information, postcards, and ID numbers so folks can begin to complete the census. We know here in our neighborhoods, specifically in Bridgeport and Norwalk, that we historically have been undercounted. It is our opportunity, and it really is our responsibility to turn those numbers around. COVID-19 has shown us that without specific resources for our community, we'll have to rely on the goodness of philanthropy and other folks to reach into their pocket to help when we know that there are programs that can be funded through the federal and state government to help us get what we need to uplift our community at this time. So ABCD has partnered with several community organizations to help get the word out so we can get the census numbers up. Today, the U.S. Census reports that the Connecticut response rate is at 53.9%, which is really good for right now. But the Bridgeport response rate is at 38.4%. We know that with the vitality and the energy here in the city of Bridgeport, we have the power and the ability to get these numbers up and get them to 100% so we get the resources we need to upbuild and rebuild our community. Our Norwalk numbers are slightly improved. They're at 52.8%, and that is a wonderful response rate for this time period when folks are kind of unsure about what's going on, but they're taking their extra time to complete the census. So we want to share with you that though the census deadline has been extended to July 31st for now, we're looking for Congress to approve an additional extension to October 31st. So please don't wait until the last minute. These numbers are very, very important to our community. And without a higher response rate for our neighborhoods, we will not get the assistance that we need beyond COVID-19. We know that someday this pandemic is going to ease and we're going to need resources, and those resources can be plentiful if we complete the census. So right now I'd like to transition to a short video just to remind folks about the importance of the census. In Bridgeport, like in cities throughout the country, barren streets, neighborhoods devoid of the sound of playing children, and eerily quiet intersections make up the landscape. Downtown looks more like a ghost town, and everywhere the absence of people walking and talking is itself deafening. We know, however, that soon, as we've done before, after world wars, terrorist attacks, or great recessions, we have what it takes for a comeback. That comeback, however, is up to you. Your actions will determine in part whether Bridgeport gets the funding it needs for essential services from the federal government. Services such as childcare, affordable housing, and educational funding will be needed for our rebound. At some point today or tonight, with your newfound available time, as you sit at home, fill out your census form online, or mail it in, or use the available telephone number. Be counted. Be heard. You, your family, and your city are depending on you to do your part, so Bridgeport gets the services it needs. Maybe then the images of desolate streets and shuttered businesses we have become unfortunately accustomed to will become just a memory. Because of you, we'll have the resources to support our resilient efforts. Those resources and spirited Bridgeporters, no doubt, will bring life, vitality, and productivity back into our city.
En Norwalk, como en otros suburbios de Nueva York, calles yermas, vecindarios tranquilos sin el sonido de niños jugando e intersecciones inquietamente silenciosas conforman el paisaje. El sur de Norwalk parece un pueblo fantasma y en todas las partes la ausencia de personas caminando y hablando es ensordecedora.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Sin embargo, sabemos que tan pronto como lo hemos hecho antes, después de la guerra mundial, los ataques terroristas o las grandes recesiones, tenemos lo que se necesita para un regreso. Ese regreso, sin embargo, depende de usted. Sus acciones determinarán en parte si Norwalk obtendrá los fondos necesarios para los servicios esenciales del gobierno. Se necesitará servicios como cuidado de niños, vivienda y fondos educativos para nuestra recuperación. En algún momento, hoy o esta noche, con su tiempo disponible, mientras se siente en su casa, complete su formulario de censos en línea o envíelo por correo o use el número de teléfono disponible. Ser contado, ser escuchado. Usted, su familia y su ciudad depende de usted para hacer su parte, por lo que Norwalk obtendrá los servicios que necesitan. Quizás entonces las imágenes de calles desoladas y negocios cerrados a lo que desafortunadamente no hemos acostumbrado se convertirá en solo un recuerdo. Gracias a usted, tendremos los recursos para respaldar nuestros esfuerzos de resistencia. Esos recursos y enérgicos habitantes de Norwalk sin duda darán vida, vitalidad y productividad a nuestra ciudad.
Thank you for staying with us to view the videos both in English and in Spanish that encourage the completion of the census. Again, I can't say enough how important it is to complete your census application during this time. So we have no questions that I know of, and now we just like to transition on to our day. We'd like to say thank you for staying engaged and staying supportive of ABCD. We will continue to update you regularly, and I'd also like to announce a special surprise that'll be coming next Friday during our live stream. So continue to stay engaged, continue to stay connected, stay safe, and stay home.